Well, welcome to this epic disaster. A little late, and we will talk about why we're a little bit late.
Because there's a why.
Yeah, this is kind of going to be a different show anyway.
Yeah,
first of all, I just want to say I quit. I'm no longer going to be a part of the show.
It's just me.
It's just the Cheri show now. That's not true.
Cheri show.
But a little bit different. I don't know how long. I was thinking we might do a short show, but we might not. A lot of times we say we're going to do a short show, and then we just talk, and it ends up being the longest show we've ever done.
We're going to attempt. Oh crap! We're going to attempt to do a short show today.
Because it is so late, and
dinner is ready.
And we're going to talk about why it's late. Before we talk about late, let's talk about one thing we're not going to do today. A little bit different. No live beer review. No live beer review today.
Not today.
And the reason
Satan.
is mostly my fault because I forgot to go out and get a beer.
Yep, and I can't afford it.
Because normally I get on the weekends because we record a show on the Monday, and we didn't record on Monday, and we'll talk about that in a second.
We weren't going to.
But I didn't know for sure if we were recording today.
Right.
And then you told me, and then I forgot to go out and get one. So
I didn't tell you till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's what I'm saying. So, but what we do have is a cocktail, and we're going to drink the cocktail, and then we might tell you what we think of our cocktail. But it's probably not something that you will make.
But I can tell you how because she told me how she made it.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and sip mine because I'm kind of thirsty. So I'm going to sip this cocktail.
Oh, wait, since it's a cocktail, should we?
Cheers.
Clink.
Kampai. Ooh, spicy. Okay.
Happy.
Tastes like pencil shavings.
It doesn't.
It does.
Where do you get pencil shavings?
I do not know.
Okay, what we're drinking
is pencil shavings.
It's not pencil shavings.
But I can taste that. I don't know what it is. Woodsy. It's very woodsy, and for some reason there's a little graphite in there, I think. But it's got a taste of pencil shavings.
So the booze in here are two kinds of booze. There's Buffalo Trace bourbon.
Which is actually really, really, really good.
Really good.
Yeah, I discovered I like it a lot. And
the second booze is more of just a liqueur. It's a I can't remember the name of it, but it's a ginger liqueur.
Okay.
And then she threw a teensy tiny bit of cardamom bitters in there.
Okay.
And then lemon juice I saw go in there, and that's it.
A little bit of graphite.
There's
Altogether,
no graphite.
It tastes like pencil shavings. In a good way. I'm not saying it's a bad way. It just tastes like it just got that little bit of a taste. When I was a kid and I would chew on pencils.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. I don't know why. I just know what it tastes like.
You had good tasting pencils. I'll tell you what.
It's kind of nice. All right, so we'll be doing that today. No live beer review. So go ahead.
If you want the actual,
just drop your scorecards.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that.
If you want the actual recipe, I will get it for you and I will post it.
All right, so let's start. Let's talk about why we're a little bit late.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, normally we record early and like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes earlier than that.
Yeah.
But Sunday at the latest, and then we put the podcast up on Monday. So today is Tuesday.
Yes.
Right now is Tuesday evening.
So we're a day late.
We're
posting.
We're almost 2 days late.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. And why is that? Why are we late?
Because Mama thought I had COVID.
You thought you had the COVID.
I thought I had the vid.
You thought you had the hoax, and
I did.
And then you went out.
Hoax! Oh my god!
And then, because I know what that's like, because so you thought you might have gotten it from us.
I did because I came over here prior to our last podcast. I came over here on a Saturday.
Yes.
And we recorded.
Yes.
And I felt fine, and we did the thing. And then Sunday night, I got a fever, and it was a bad fever.
Okay.
And I actually ended up taking Monday, Tuesday off.
Okay.
Because I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
And fever going up and down, up and down. It stayed pretty low grade, but it would keep spiking. And it never really broke. It never went back to normal.
Well, you texted me and you said you had a fever for 3 days, and I didn't think anything about it. I just thought, oh, okay, you got a sickness. And my wife first thing was like, she's got COVID.
Right. Your wife's like,
oh yeah,
I almost called her your mom. Your wife was like,
same thing.
It's COVID. But yeah, so by Wednesday afternoon, because I worked on Wednesday, and Wednesday afternoon, it spiked at 103 at right around the time I was getting off work, and I was just like, I'm done. And then that's when Maria was like, she has the COVID.
Well, I started feeling, right after you said that, like a day after you said that, I started feeling kind of flu symptoms. So I started getting a really scratchy throat. I started coughing, and I started getting kind of this, the feeling you get in your gut when you feel like you're going to get the flu virus or stomach virus.
Yeah.
And it never manifested. It just kind of did that, and I just thought, uh-oh, this is it. We both got it. And then nothing. So,
but I spoke to you.
It's you're gonna get sickness.
Here's the thing: is I spoke to you on Thursday, and I was like, "So are we gonna record this weekend?" And you're like, the wife won't let you come over."
I didn't say that.
Basically, what you said is you sent me her text exactly word for word is you should quarantine for 10 days after initial symptoms. And I was like, well, I guess that answers that.
Well, you asked how long it should happen, and so that's what she did. And
it's fine. It's totally fine, and I completely understand the gravity of the situation. I'm not belittling it at all.
Right.
What I'm doing is I'm just kind of making light of it. So I guess I am belittling it just a bit, but no, and she has to go out in public every day for her job.
She works at a hospital and she doesn't want to take it to the hospital. Well, now tell me about your test. What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
It was fine.
What did you do?
It's not something I'd like to do every day.
Yeah.
I actually made an appointment at a Kroger Little Clinic.
Okay.
And I made the appointment, or I tried to get in that day, which was like Wednesday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday.
Now, describe the method of testing, what they did.
Oh, they did the nose probe.
Did they do it 2 times or 1?
Once.
And it went, it touched your brain?
I think it actually mutilated part of my brain.
Okay, so you had the same one that I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they went in, so I'm going to tell a little story.
Did you punch anybody?
I did not. I sat on my hands.
Okay.
I sat on my hands so that I wouldn't hurt anybody. But I will tell you that, and this is just probably a little bit TMI, and I don't care, but it matters. Once upon a time, I went in to get a uterine biopsy.
Okay.
So obviously, it's a different position that you're in.
Okay.
For the test. And they stick this thing in your cervix, which is not supposed to have things stuck in it.
Okay.
I'll just be honest with you. And they stick it in there, and it's almost like, those old-fashioned egg whisks where you have a crank and it's got the little egg whisks on the bottom? So basically that's it. They stick it in your cervix, it goes into your uterus, and then they spin it around a lot to get, all the cells and stuff on the end of what is basically a pipe cleaner. And then they pull it out and they biopsy those cells.
Okay.
That's what it felt like in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not fun.
They stuck an egg beater in my nose and beat my brain.
I did it twice. Now, it wasn't any more fun the second time. But I think because I knew what to expect.
How long did yours last?
Too long. Way too long. It seemed like a good hour.
Would you say, though, realistically, that they did it for a full 60 seconds?
No, but it felt like that.
So when I had
Probably
the uterine...
it was only 5 seconds, but it hurt.
When I had the uterine biopsy, they had to do it for a full 60 seconds. And it felt like a year.
Well,
when they did the nose thing just recently... They didn't have to do for any specific time frame, I guess, unless they did and they just didn't tell me. But I was like, okay, are you done? You done?
Yeah.
You done? You done
That's
now?
What I remember, especially the first time, my process was ow, ow, ow. And then I was just like, when is this going to stop? And I just thought, anytime now, don't be a baby. It's not going to last forever.
Did that all happen in your head, or did you say it out loud?
No, all of it happened in my head. And I just kept thinking, this is going on way too long. And I just kept thinking it's going to stop, but it didn't. And then that's when I was ready to hit someone. And then the second time, because I didn't know what to expect, they did it. And then I just remember thinking, all right, it's about time. It's almost over. And then I was like, it's not almost over. It's not almost over. So, yeah, man. And then now, are you going to get the
antibody test?
The virus, immunization.
Oh, the vaccine.
It's coming. Yeah, vaccine. Yeah. That's the word I was trying to come up with.
So
are you going to do it?
Yeah. Well, okay. hold on. Let me rephrase. I said, yeah. And I meant, yes, I would like to have it. I'm also one of these people that doesn't get a flu shot.
I don't get a flu shot because I've never gotten the flu.
I get the flu almost every year.
I don't, and I guess over the course of my life, I might have had it a few times, but I get colds. But you don't get a cold shot. So I've gotten colds. I've gotten severe colds, but I don't remember getting anything that felt like a severe flu.
I know this doesn't go with popular opinion, okay? And I am totally pro-vaccine. I am. I don't think that you should avoid any vaccinations if they're proven to work. Like, vaccinate your children, people. Come on. It's just silly not to against some serious things. I know that COVID is serious. I get that. Flu is also very serious. I do get the flu most years, and it lasts 2-3 days, and I'm good. When I get a flu shot, I end up sick with cold symptoms for at least 2 weeks straight, every single time. So I'm like, okay, do I want to just lay in bed for 2 days and be over it? Or do I want to deal with being sick for 2 weeks?
Well, I've had this discussion with my wife, and I feel like everybody I know who gets the flu shot gets the flu. And I don't get it, and I don't get the flu. So she, we get into an argument about this, so we don't talk about it. But
you either do or you don't. You don't talk about it.
Yeah, she says that it's not true. It's something else, and it may be. I mean, I don't argue with her. I don't know. I just know that I haven't, and I'm not against it. In fact, if I was in a doctor's office or I was somewhere getting shots, and they were like, "Do you want the flu shot?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
I mean, I'm here.
I don't care.
Stick me again. I don't care.
I just don't go. And here's the thing about the COVID shot that I'm concerned about, and I'm totally not vaccine. Why can't I get that word out?
I don't know.
I'm totally not that. But this was really rushed through.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it shouldn't have been. It's definitely an emergency
needed.
situation.
Yeah.
But it was rushed. And usually things like that, they have to do long testings, and you don't know. I mean, there's no way. How do they know that this is not going to give, people are going to be born with no legs? They haven't. How could they have tested it that long? I mean, you got to do the thing and then have a kid in 9 months.
Right.
There's just no way, you know. It's just like when thalidomide came in and they did it. And then all of a sudden all these babies are being born with physical defects. And it's probably not going to happen, but I'm just saying, how do we know? They rushed it through. There hasn't been the same type of test. So I get concerned about that. I do have to think that because it is a form of flu or a type of flu, it probably, they kind of use a model of past vaccines that they've done.
Sure, and they just use different antibodies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to turn into a giraffe or something. I just don't think
that would be cool.
Yeah, it might be, but I just feel like that. I don't know. Just like, how do we know? But at the same time, I think it's really weird when people won't wear a mask and then say they don't want vaccines because they don't know what they're going to get. And it's just like, well, you don't know what you're going to get when you don't wear a mask, but that's not stopping you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're that worried about being protected, wear a freaking mask.
But see,
just pick one side.
That's the thing, though, is you're so worried. But you're hold on. The mask is not for the person wearing it.
It is now. They actually changed that. Like within the last month.
Where have I been?
I don't know, but the CDC, they actually say now that the mask, and again, this is my point, that new information comes because they test it over and over.
Okay, yes,
and so if they're still discovering things, how do we know that they're not going to discover something that the vaccine is going to be a problem?
Or maybe after you get the vaccine, which has the antibodies, from the... Well, okay, so vaccinations are made from the virus, okay? So they're not actually putting the virus in you, and yet they are at the same time.
They are a little bit.
A little bit, right. So, but since they haven't done testing, they don't know how this virus mutates.
They are doing testing. They can't do long-term testing.
They can't do it fast enough.
Well, they can't do long-term testing because there hasn't been a long-term.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'm just saying most tests, most vaccines go through years of testing, and normally they would, but this is an emergency. They need it now. So how do we know you get your shot and in 4 years you don't get a third boob in your forehead? You don't know that.
That might be fun.
Right in the middle of your face, you get a third boob. And everybody's like, oh, we didn't expect that.
That would be fun in India because the Indians have a tradition. Indian people have a tradition where they kiss each other on the forehead. It's a form of saying hello or, that kind of thing. So if you had boobies on your forehead and you were getting kissed on your forehead all the day.
You think that they would like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. We need to do a formal poll and find out all of our Indian. Our podcast was like the number 3 podcast in, what was it, Finland or something? I don't remember. Sweden, Finland, something like that. And then recently, Diwali, was that it? That's
a holiday.
Okay, what was I was going to say, is that a location? No. What was the place? Remember we were like number 3rd in.
It started with an M.
Miwali?
Something like that.
Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus. We were 3rd in Miley Cyrus.
Mawali. That was it.
I thought that was one of Obama's kids. No. I don't know. I'm not up on things. How am I supposed to know things?
You're not up on things. I didn't know that a mask could actually protect me.
But no, I feel like that we do have we should be more responsible.
I agree.
About talking about people with boobs on their head in India. Because we don't know. That might be offensive to them. I really don't know.
Be more sensitive, Rick.
You did it. I'm trying to be sensitive to our international listeners.
Thank you for correcting me. Mm-hmm. But I would like a kiss on my forehead if I had a boobie on my forehead.
Find an Indian man. He'll be happy to do that. But anyway.
I have nothing against being with an Indian man. I'm put it out there.
No. In fact, I've been with several. I'm going to say that I shouldn't have admitted that on the podcast.
No.
I'm going to say that I will get the vaccine. I'm planning on getting the vaccine. When? I'm just going to be like, what the hell? Whatever happens, I feel like I'm old enough now.
I mean, you're going to die anyways.
Yeah, whether I turn into a giraffe or get a boob on my head, I will just gonna take it. Mm-hmm. That's just going to be the rest of my life. But my concern was, if you get vaccinated for this, can you still be a carrier? Because this is just I just thought, are we still going to have to wear masks for the rest of our lives?
Well, maybe not the rest of our lives, but we have to continue with safety measures. Like, for instance...
well, my wife says that we don't have to. She says that you're not going to be a carrier if you get vaccinated. That's what she says. Go take it up with her.
I'll take it up with her later.
So that's good to know. It's good to know.
I will say, though, that in my last company meeting, we were told that we're not going back to the office anytime before March of 2021.
Well, I think that's the way it's going to be for everybody. But here's what I'm thinking.
Well, it's not. We have clients that are already back in the office.
Listen, can you imagine next year the entertainment that's going to come out? I mean, the artists that are just dying to hit the road. There's going to be such great shows next year everywhere. Artists that just can't wait to play. They're going to be doing fantastic shows. You're going to see people out on the road who just have been just dying to get out on the road. It's going to be, I think, unless
talking
there's
musical
everything.
Events.
I mean, theater. Everybody's been closed down. It's going to open up. I think events, art shows, whatever your events are, chili cook-offs, whatever.
The Chomp and Stomp.
Everything is going to just really. It's just there's going to be so much to do next year. I just feel like that, unless another. Can you imagine another flu comes along? It could be.
It could.
It happens like every president gets their own. I think Obama had the bird flu. SARS, remember that?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it got here, but there were like 15,000 people that died from that. And then the Trump has got this one. Biden will get like, I don't know, pig nuts or something.
Pig nuts?
I
will
think
you grow them on your chin? Oh.
I think he already has that.
Will you grow them on your chin, though?
Why would I want to grow pig nuts on my chin?
No, I just mean, is that an effect of the virus?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay.
But I'm just saying things, there's so many surprises. I would like to have a year where we get to have some fun. That would be fun. Get to have some fun. Fun would be fun.
Did you hear about the? Did I talk about this last week?
Sounds like a setup for a joke, but go ahead.
I have a joke later for you.
Uh-oh.
But this is actually, so you hear about where Warner Brothers is releasing every movie that they have for 2021 simultaneously in theaters as they are on HBO Max.
Now,
The same
wait.
day.
So the controversy I heard is they're not releasing in theaters, and theaters are mad as they can be about it.
No, theaters are mad as they can be about it because it's the same day. Why would people go to a theater right now in this pandemic when they can just look at HBO Max?
I have I heard was they weren't releasing in the theater.
No,
and because people aren't going to the theater and theaters are closed.
Some studios are releasing in theaters for 2021 17 days before they release on streaming.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers, I believe it was, has decided to release simultaneously.
Yeah, and their stock has dropped. They're getting really a lot of pushback from artists.
Really a lot?
Yeah.
Really a lot.
So I don't know. It's a different era. I don't know. I don't go to movies anyway. So all the movies now are superhero movies, which I don't watch. I listened to a podcast today, and they were going into all these details about Marvel Universe and DC Universe and all this stuff. And I know that's out there.
Way over your head.
Yeah, and the Star Wars characters and all that. I don't know any of that anymore. Totally don't.
Because you're not in pop culture anymore.
I'm kind of am. I like keeping up with the people, but I don't have a big interest in that kind of stuff. Like there's some movies I would see, but I'm not into that action stuff, and that's what's big now.
What's funny to me is that you have selective suspension of reality.
Everyone does.
Like you suspend reality for some things, but you won't for other things.
But everyone does that. I mean, some people will suspend reality and, to watch Ace Ventura, and other people are just like, that's too slapstick. That's too comedy.
Right.
And they want their comedy to be a little more sophisticated. But it's people up there acting and pretending.
And a lot of people have the bad habit of suspending reality for just ridiculous romance movies. That shit doesn't happen in life.
Like I was thinking about this today. I really like the Indiana Jones movies, but those are just as fantastic as Star Wars movies. I mean,
or Wonder Woman.
But for me, if I'm watching someone look for treasures, that's more realistic than someone shooting with a laser gun. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying some people love that kind of fantasy that's just completely new. Mm-hmm. But I like things that are almost like grounded in reality.
Okay.
Somewhat.
So, here's my joke.
Okay. Is this a dad joke?
It's a pun.
It's a dad joke.
You're going to love it. Everybody out there, listen closely, because if you know me, you get this. If Watson isn't the most famous doctor, then who is?
See, that's not even a joke.
It is, though.
Not a joke.
It is.
Not even a joke.
Come on.
All right, let's do Would You Rather.
Oh, we haven't done that yet?
Haven't done it. Let's do Would You Rather. I'm gonna read. You toss the stone.
I know how to toss a stone.
Drop a yellow one. Drop a yellow one.
It's
do
not,
it.
It's not gonna be
Drop
yellow.
it.
It's not gonna be yellow.
It's yellow.
It's blue.
All right. Here we go. Blue.
Blue
is appearance or embarrassment. Would you rather walk around at a cocktail party with a visible booger in your nose, or accidentally but conspicuously fart at the same party? So it's either fart or have a booger. Now, it doesn't say, but you could do a silent fart. It doesn't say that people actually know that the fart is yours.
Well, it uses the word inconspicuously, so that means it's silent.
It says, but conspicuously. It doesn't say
okay. Conspicuously.
accidentally but conspicuously fart at the same party.
So that's noticeable fart.
Yeah.
Either noticeable fart or booger hanging out of my nose.
Yeah, I remember one time, this was like early on when I met you, we were out in public and I was like, oh, she's got a booger. Do I tell her? Should I tell her? I was like, it's disgusting. You're making me sick. You had a booger. And then I realized it was your nose piercing. It wasn't a booger after all.
It happens.
I know.
Sometimes the twist of the ring or the stud that I have in my nose sticks out just so it looks like there's a booger in my nose. There is no booger in my nose.
And then we went to a party and you farted. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. That was good times.
And then that ended up being me.
Yeah.
So anyway, which do you want, booger or fart?
So
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to tell you something really super embarrassing about me.
Uh-oh.
I was at a company function once, and so I didn't fart. I mean, it's not that I didn't fart at my company ever, but I didn't fart at this function. And I leaned over a tray of cheese and crackers.
You cut the cheese.
No. Something dripped from my nose.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
So what I did is it was just, liquid.
Oh.
But what I did is I picked up everything in that area and put it on my plate.
It doesn't matter. It's
No,
all
it does.
contaminated.
No, it's not.
There are people now with boobs growing out of their head because of what fell out of your nose.
I would rather have a booger in my nose. Because everybody that knows me knows that if you know me and you're my friend, if I have a zit on my face, if I have something in my teeth, or if I have something hanging out of my nose, it is your job to tell me.
Hey, booger nose, what is that?
You can do it like that. I don't care. I'll be like, I don't know. Let me go look.
I don't know what I would do. My mom she'll just go up to strangers and like pull the toilet paper off their shoe, or if it's hanging out of their pants.
I used to do this thing, and I don't do it anymore because
you got a mouse in your hair. Hey, you got a mouse in your hair.
No, I used to do this thing where I'd be just walking in public, and I'd go up to some stranger and their tag was hanging out of their shirt, and I would just put it back in their shirt. That's touching people unwantedly.
That's wrong.
I don't do that anymore because it's not taken very well anymore. Normally people are like, oh, thank you. Now it's like, bitch, get the fuck off me. It's a whole different experience. So
my foolproof way of disguising farts when I was in elementary school, every once in a while, I rarely did, but just accidentally fart. And then I would just go...
You've mentioned that on the podcast. You've mentioned that.
And people are just like, dang, your breath stinks. But
they knew what you were doing. They knew what you were doing.
It's not the same thing. It's like...
Yeah, two totally different sounds.
It's like, what, you got a theme song for your fart?
It makes you happy to fart.
But I really thought that was disguising it. People would know. They don't know the difference.
Wow.
I can't tell what's coming out of your mouth and what's coming out of your ass.
Yeah, so I'm gonna choose the booger on my question.
So you got the booger instead of the fart.
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Like I said, if I'm in a group of people, you said it was, what did you say it was? A work function? Then they all know me. If they know me, I have told them.
All right, let's switch it around just a little bit. Let's say you're on a date. Which one of those things would you lose the date for if that happened? If you're on a date and one, the person had a booger, two, they ripped a big one, which one would guarantee there was no date two, a second date?
If they intentionally ripped a big one, that would suffice to no date, no second date. Okay. If they had something hanging out of their nose.
Hold on a second. There we go.
Right. If they have something hanging out of their nose, I'd be like, here's tissue. You got something right there.
Could you take care of this?
I've always just told people, hey, you got something in your teeth, or hey, you got something right there.
See, my wife says that she does that, and then I think about it, that I'm safe, and then I'll go to the restroom and I'll see a booger, and I'm like, why didn't someone tell me?
Because she wasn't looking at you.
So my wife, I don't know what this is. Cannot figure it out. We've talked about it a million times. My wife has teeth that just attract debris. And she will tell you that. I don't care what it is. We could go have lunch together, and when we're done, my teeth are fine. She looks like she just ate a ear of corn.
I had a girlfriend like that. I don't know what it is.
And she doesn't have teeth any different from mine.
Right.
But we can both have an everything bagel, and when it's done, she looks like she's done meth.
Right.
And I look fine. I mean, I might find a seed one, but she looks awful. And
you're making me lick my teeth right now.
You go, but I don't know what that is. Why her teeth? It's like she's got magnetic teeth for.
No, I had a girlfriend like that where we would go eat, and then my teeth would be fine, and she just had food stuck in her teeth. Yeah,
and I have to constantly you got something right there.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's after and my wife laughs constantly. She's just a big laugher. So she's always showing her teeth.
Very deep.
And then she'll come home and she'll be laughing. I'll be like, oh, Did you have a meeting just a few minutes ago? Because I'm going to tell you what they thought.
Yeah. But see, I do this thing, and I don't know that everybody does this, is when I'm eating, as I'm eating, every bite I take, after I chew and swallow, I kind of use my tongue to feel the front of my teeth. Maybe
Look
not
in a
everybody
mirror
does
if you
that.
can.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody does that. I don't know.
All right. I'm dropping a color here.
All right.
Oh, that was 2.
That was 2.
Go back. Gonna go back.
Go back.
Try again. Drop. What the hell?
Come on. Butterfingers.
Here we go. Ready?
Yes. Blue.
After all that, same color I dropped.
So,
Blue.
appearance embarrassment. Would you rather have one hand be stuck permanently in a boxing glove?
Okay.
Oh. Or have one finger permanently affixed in the finger position?
Oh.
Meaning flipping the bird.
That one.
You'd rather piss people off all day long?
No, I just feel like that would be easier to go through life. I mean,
Because you could just do, like, you could look
I mean,
like you were, like...
There are people who only have one finger, and that's the finger
true.
they got.
That's true.
And you know, you have to be careful. Obviously, I wouldn't want to wave at strangers.
You'd be like, hi!
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. But I just feel like it would be a whole lot less inconvenient than having a boxing glove on my hand all the time.
Because you can use the finger.
Yeah.
You couldn't use a boxing glove.
No, in the boxing glove, you have to clean it and just, I don't know. I just wouldn't want the boxing glove.
And I'm not
So I'm going with
saying
the
that like...
And you might need that finger to actually flip somebody off.
That's true.
And you're
While
in
you're
traffic.
driving with your
you're
other
in traffic
hand.
and you have a boxing glove on. You can't show people what
you
you
would
think.
just be like, here's my
yeah,
boxing
they'll think
glove.
you want to fight.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't when you're flipping somebody off.
Go 12 rounds, bastard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could make it 12 rounds.
No.
No.
Can even go a half. All right.
You'd
Yeah,
get
that's
hit
what I
in
do.
the
I
face
would go
once.
with the finger.
Okay.
I want the finger. Give me the finger.
Give him the finger.
How's your Christmas going? My Christmas is pretty good so far. Too quick. Going by too quick.
Way too fast.
What's happening with you?
Nothing.
It doesn't. I just say it doesn't feel like Christmas. It does feel like Christmas, but it just feels like it's going by so fast.
So I
But you
have
can't
I have my tree up,
Yeah.
and I've been watching Christmas movies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
I think it's because everybody's in. Because every once in a while we'll go out driving around or something. I just think this is it. This is why I don't feel like Christmassy. Because we went out to Decatur, downtown Decatur, and it's beautiful. They got lights up and things are going on. And I wanted to walk around, but you
can't.
You don't really. It's not a good idea,
Right.
But that there's no Christmas parades and all that stuff. I think just mingling and associating with people makes it seem. But I don't know. I'm gonna do the best I can do.
Did they do the thing this year in Chattanooga on the river where they did the boats?
I do not know that.
Would
Don't
you
know
have
the answer to
gone
that.
if
No.
they did?
So I went to last year. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, and I took my mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
It was cold,
that was
cold,
last year.
freezing cold, and she
Yeah.
was miserable. So I think she liked it okay, but not enough to go through all of that
So
stuff.
that would have been around Thanksgiving because that's when Mom comes.
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Yeah, so it's over if it happened.
Yeah, but it was all right. Yeah, it's fine.
So you're missing a lot.
I don't feel like I'm missing. I just feel like it's not as intense. I mean, I'm watching Christmas shows. Excuse me. I'm listening to music. We got our tree up. We got decorations up, and
Speaking of Christmas, you had mentioned,
Yeah.
we had mentioned last week. Was it last week?
Yes.
We're off, so I'm off. But we did a challenge
Yes, we're gonna do a challenge.
for our listeners to come up with their synopsis of their holiday Hallmark movie.
So, as I recall, the challenge is to come up with the most bizarre, interesting, whatever scenario of a Hallmark Christmas movie,
Yes.
and you could pick whoever you want to be in it.
See, okay, so I came up with a super interesting,
Okay.
twisty-turny kind of Hallmark movie based on Hallmark movies, but I forgot to cast it.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to tell you what it is, and you cast it.
I'll cast it. Okay.
Okay? It's going to be a minute because there's lots of twists and turns.
Okay.
So sit back, get a beer, listen up.
Sorry.
My Hallmark movie starts with me And it starts based on our.
Whoa, you're in it. You cast yourself.
No. Me. I'm. It's coming from my perspective.
Okay.
I am the movie is coming from the perspective of the woman.
So it's like a dream.
Well. Okay. But okay. So I'm going off of what my Hallmark movie thing was from our post that we did.
The meme.
Yeah. So I started out with I'm an orphan. Okay. Former orphan, because I'm an adult now, and you corrected me. I can't be an orphan as an adult. So I'm an orphan who grew up in a small town and in an orphanage. Flash to me being an adult, being an extremely successful executive in New York City. Okay, and I am super successful, and I get some kind of notification from someone who's telling me that the orphanage that I grew up in, and I'm a little bit bitter about, is closing, and they can no longer help all of the needy children. So, what I do, and I'm urged to do this by some of my clients, my high-end clients in New York, to raise money, raise some funds, and revamp this orphanage.
Got a cookie sale? Is that what you're going to do?
Something like that. But because, I work for this big corporation and I'm a high executive, I have a lot of, ins here and there. And I start raising funds, and I start a funding campaign to raise money to revamp and restore this particular orphanage. But I'm so busy. The goal is to revamp it and have it open on Christmas Eve and invite children from other orphanages that aren't doing so well, and that they're unhappy in either their foster. I don't even know if orphanages are still a thing, but
you're there.
I'm moving on. From their foster homes or from their orphanages, their children's homes that they're living in right now, to come and have this top of the line, super happy, super comfy, kind of very well cared for place. So I start raising funds for this, and it's all supposed to happen on New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve. So I can't make it there to watch the renovations and, the things like that. So what I do is I employ a financial institution, a local financial institution in this small town to help me, to manage the project, if you will, and manage the monies that are being handed out to do the project. So I'm involved, but, at the same time, I'm just being told what's happening. I'm not there. I'm not seeing it. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. So a few weeks before Christmas, I'm finally able to go down and, see the final parts of the project. I get there and I go directly to the site. And the first person I see is this contractor, the subcontractor, actually. And he is, he's doing his best. And he's doing what he can with what he's been given. And I'm appalled because we're nowhere near where we need to be. The project is completely off course, and it's not what I've been told. And so I'm a little bit livid. And the guy is like, well, this is all we can do with what we're being given. Turns out that the financial institution that I employed to manage the project and the finances, the man who owns it has been pocketing some of the money. And mismanaging and maybe not doing the best he can with it. And he's using it for his own. He's giving himself a salary, to do this kind of thing.
Quick question. Is there any nudity in your movie?
Not yet. Okay. So, I find all this out and I'm just livid and I'm learning all these bad things. And at the same time, I'm falling in love with this subcontractor because he's on my side. Mm-hmm. And that's all apparently a woman needs is to have this man on her side. So that's why I'm falling for him, because he's going to help me.
Used to be an attorney.
Probably. So, all this is happening. And then when I confront the man, and, I find out that he's doing all these things. He's not having it. He's whatever, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. So while we're investigating all of this, I'm confiding in this subcontractor, and we're having coffee and dinner and dates, and I, confide in him all these things about myself. He confides in me that his father is the person who owns this financial institution. And really, is a bad he
That's the twist that always happens in the Hallmark movie.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I am pissed, right? And he and I start working really hard together to get him, like to get his dad. Like we're gonna fight you together. And we're working together, and finally the dad comes around, and he confides in his son after his son confronts him alone and says, I haven't been a good dad. I haven't, been the best person in my life. So what he intends to do is not only pay back all the monies that were mismanaged and spent incorrectly, but he intends to hire a complete new set of people to get in and get it done and get it ready by Christmas Eve so that we can invite all these children to come and stay. Of course, because, people change like that. So that happens. And his son is he really doesn't want to forgive him, but he does, because he's a forgiving kind of person. Anyways, we all get to work and we get it done, and Christmas Eve comes around and all the children are bussed in, and there's trees everywhere, and Santa Claus is there handing out presents. They all have a warm bed, they all have a warm meal, everybody is happy. It's a big festival thing, lots of people come, and that's when this subcontractor proposes to the female lead, which in this case is me. And I freak out and I run off. And the reason I do is because I never confided in him that I cannot have biological children.
Oh, man.
But he confided in me that he wanted a large family.
Biological children.
Large biological children. Yes. Many, many of them.
With boobs right in the middle of their forehead. Yeah.
Right. Or balls on their chins.
Oh, man.
Either way.
I know.
He could care.
I know the feeling.
But I am so appalled that I can't give him this that I run off. He comes and he finds me, and I confess this to him. And I say, the reason I can't marry you is because I've always wanted children, but I cannot have them. And I know how badly you want children. And he says to me,
I'll go with a younger woman.
No. Oh. He says to me, come, live here with me. We have all of these children here that we can care for.
Adopt.
Why don't you just run the orphanage yourself? Wow. And we can do this together.
This is a Hallmark movie.
And of course, being a Hallmark movie, I quit my huge executive job in New York City and moved to this tiny town. And we raise all of the children in the orphanage. I've never run an orphanage before, by the way.
Or raised
a child. But now I'm in charge of this orphanage, and we live happily ever after.
Wow. That's very much like a Hallmark movie right there.
I think so. Especially that last twist.
Yeah. I do feel like it's a little unreasonable for anybody to expect a woman almost 50 to have children.
Right.
Except for Jennifer Aniston. For some reason, all the tabloids think that she's pregnant, and she's, what is she, 60 now? I don't know.
Oh my God, no.
She's getting close.
I'm closer.
She can't have kids.
What?
She would have already done it. Okay, that's a good one.
Thank you. I think I did good.
Yeah.
I would never want to be in that movie.
No.
Or have that life.
Well, you told me to cast it. I am casting you in it because you asked.
I didn't know.
I'll make the dude, the guy will be Oliver Platt. I'm going to.
God damn it.
And then the dad will be Ed Asner. Which really.
He's dead, isn't he?
No.
Oh.
But he'll be dead soon.
Okay.
But the thing is, see, because it's you and Oliver, your dad has to be at advanced age.
Right. Because we're old.
Yeah. Ed Asner, I think, is in his 80s now, probably close to 90. And he wouldn't be running a business. I don't even think they would let him come in the doors.
I mean, he might be
retired.
just a.
But it's fantasy. We'll set it in earlier times.
So you're actually casting me.
Yeah, why not?
So I get to play this.
You're doing it. You're playing the role.
This person who will leave this high-paying executive job in New York to go run an orphanage.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I need to be a really good actor to do that.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how good you have to be on the Hallmark movies.
That's true too.
All right. Well, that's a good one. I think that's good. I would like to challenge our listeners to beat that one. Come up with a scenario plot for a Hallmark movie.
Synopsis. Give us a synopsis.
Make
like
it as strange as you want,
Sure.
and then cast it, if you will.
Yeah.
I'll be doing mine next
Or
week.
we can cast it for you.
Yeah.
If you can't come up with a cast, we can do it.
That's the thing. I don't know contemporary actors, and I can't cast them with people that are on the Hallmark movies because I don't know their names, so I can't really do that.
You watch them 24 hours
it's the
a day.
same people, but I don't
but
hardly
you don't
know any
know
of the
their
people.
names.
Yeah, I don't know really.
There was one on when I got here tonight, you guys. I got here tonight. There was a movie on, or maybe it was the next one that came on because the thing is playing 24/7.
Yeah.
Scott Wolf was the dad.
Yeah, one of the kids from Party of Five, now a dad.
In a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
He was the dad.
And the youngest girl, Lacey, what's her name? She's on these all the time, and she's got kids. So she's a mom on the show. And
Yep.
she was the smallest little girl.
Yep.
There's something about her that's sexy, I think.
See, I've never found her attractive.
I don't like really young girls because, it's weird. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying there's like a certain age and it's like, okay, whatever. But there's just something about her, she's just got an air of kind of sexiness. The same way with like Jennifer Love Hewitt, whatever.
See, I find Jennifer Love
yeah.
Hewitt attractive.
Yeah.
There's something about her that's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing about Lacey Chambert
Really?
to me that's attractive. I think that's her name.
She's sexy. Yeah, Sherbert.
I'm not. No,
Sherbert.
when I say
Sherbert.
that's it.
That's her name.
If she's strawberry, then
Yeah.
she's attractive, or raspberry. Or mango. But I never. There's something weird about her bottom lip.
Oh, let's take her apart.
Now I'm just being, offensive, and I apologize. But no, out of the Party of Five kids, Nev Campbell.
Oh yeah.
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 Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to think she was like the perfect woman. Yeah. Yeah. We won't go anymore.
Let's
So,
move on.
all right. So, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it, and I probably shouldn't do it because somebody's going to steal it. Don't steal my idea, people.
Okay.
So I had an idea for a sitcom today.
Cool.
So basically, I don't want to really write it. That's the problem. So I would go pitch it. So now I'm just going to tell what it is. Somebody will hear it. Some big Hollywood executive's going to do it. You know Chuck Lorre? Chuck Lorre?
Mm-mm.
Producer of Two and a Half Men.
I can't remember
2.5 Men.
actors' names. Why would I remember
Big Bang
producers'
Theory.
names?
Big Bang Theory. He produced that.
The last producer I remember was David.
So you don't even remember him.
Right.
Darman Gregg, he produced.
I would
He's
not
produced
know
like
that.
tons and tons and tons of
I
stuff.
wouldn't know that.
But anyway, I think this would be perfect for him. And I'm not going to go. So someone else can pitch it. Here, all I'm asking is, if you sell it and you're making millions, please send me some money.
I'll take
so
some too.
this is the topic of my sitcom.
Okay.
And I want to know if you would watch this. Tell me if you would watch it.
Okay.
So, they're roommates. The guys, they're two guys. They're roommates, not gay, but they're roommates. Young.
So they're cis males.
They're young guys. They're roommates, and they're in a band. They're in a rock band, pop rock band.
Okay.
Are there still bands today?
I think so.
They're in band, and they're not yet like huge, but they're getting there.
So they have a record deal.
They do, and maybe it's like their first album, but they're getting there.
Okay.
So, but they're still living in an apartment together, maybe like going on tour and stuff. So, and here's the two guys. So you've got the lead singer of the band.
Uh-huh.
He's this just like incredibly good looking, just drop dead gorgeous dude.
Ooh.
Not a lot of talent.
Oh.
And just dumb as bricks.
Nice.
But
So dumbass, kind of pretty.
gorgeous. I mean, like flawless. Perfect lead singer for a band.
Got you.
But
Perfect
just
front man.
dumb.
With no, how's his voice though?
He's fine. He's got decent
But you
chops.
said no talent.
Decent chops. I just mean, he could probably play guitar for what he's doing. But he's not Eddie Van Halen, and he can sing. He's the lead singer for the band, and then his roommate is the lead guitarist, who is an introvert, kind of social phobia guy. Not a lot to look at there for this guy.
Like me.
But he is brilliant. He's a genius.
Like me.
And the entire series is this guy getting the lead singer out of trouble. He's always getting into just dumb trouble. And the lead singer has to get him out. And
why am I picturing Friends right now?
I don't know. He's always doing things to make the lead singer look good. The lead singer gets to take credit for it. And he stays in the background and doesn't do it.
Well, maybe he doesn't want all the attention. Maybe he just wants to be the talent behind the face.
So when I was putting it together, that I thought of a couple of things. So I was thinking and this wouldn't apply anymore, but like Ashton Kutcher in that 70s show.
Yeah.
He would probably have been okay for the lead guy.
At that age?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
he was so good at, he's a good looking guy and he was so good at just playing dumb.
Right.
And so he would be that even dumber than that character.
Oh, okay.
And then, but I also thought of, do you remember, I think this was an 80s show, it might have been a 90s show, Perfect Strangers.
I do.
The two guys.
Yes.
Balky. And I don't remember the other guy.
Me either.
But I thought about the two guys that kind of live there, and you kind of got a dumb guy and a smart guy, and they're always trying to.
Well, you could also bring in the Big Bang Theory. I mean, they're both smart, but one of them is socially smarter than the other.
I've not seen a single show of that, but I feel like the great thing is you've got this guy that's just dumb, and then his buddy who's always like looking out for him and doing things to make him look better than what he is. So everybody thinks he's brilliant. Everybody thinks he's so talented. Isn't
that called an agent?
No, agents get you jobs.
Okay.
And so he's just always building up this guy. So in some ways I was thinking like the plot is sort of like Cyrano de Bergerac. Is that how you say it? You've seen the movie Roxanne with Steve Martin?
Yes.
Which was based on Cyrano.
Okay, yes.
Where you get the guy who feeds the words to the other guy.
Yes.
You remember the dumb fireman and Steve Martin? Okay.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that. You've got this brilliant guy that's making the other guy look better.
Right.
And so...
Because he's the pretty boy and he's the brains.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be a fun show.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And then you could do...
Didn't they try and make Roxanne a series?
Oh, I don't know. But what you could do is because it centers around music, that these guys, kind of like the Monkees, they can actually be in a band and they can make music and they can sell the music. And they can actually have pop hits. Boom, ba-dum, boom, boom. See? Brilliant.
You're brilliant.
So anyway, if anybody wants to go out and pitch that, all I'm asking, if you make $1 million, throw me $100,000. That's all I want.
I don't think there'd be a problem with that.
I would just say, send it to me.
10%.
Because if I see it out, I'm going to be like, dang it, who did it? Who did that?
Yeah.
Chuck Lorre listened to our podcast.
Doubtful.
Decided he's going to do it on his own.
Doubtful. It's so weird that every once in a while, because I started getting them on Facebook again here and there, right? Just here and there.
Yeah, I noticed you were.
And I saw a couple things that just blew me away. And I knew these things, but they blow me away every time I realize these things, which is that people from my past who don't participate in what we do in any way, shape, or form, but they listen to our podcast.
Yeah, that's cool.
From way back when.
I think it's interesting. I would love to know who listens that never tells us.
Like
they
lurkers.
Never contact us.
They lurk.
Well, it's not lurking. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I never, watch TV. I don't write fan letters. I mean,
that's true.
It's
that's
entertainment.
True.
You just want to listen. And there's so many people who listen. We know that because we get downloads. There are people who listen and we don't know who they are.
That's true.
They just listen.
And they could be people from our past, or they could just be rando people.
And it could be, you got to think some random celebrity. I don't know who, from what area.
Doubtful,
I don't know.
But maybe.
One day they're in their apartment. They're looking for, I want a new podcast to listen to. And they download ours. and they're listening to us.
Let's hope we never
It can
mention
happen.
them.
It can happen. But yeah.
Yeah. So we do have some listeners that participate.
Sometimes they do.
And one of our listeners that participates often sent us an email.
Yeah. So we got so here's the thing. We got a really, really, really long email.
Really
from
long.
Aaron, who's actually been on the show before.
Yep.
And he catalogs our beer reviews a lot. And
for us, and
yeah.
which is much, much appreciated because he
Amazing.
doesn't get shit out of it.
No.
Because I was supposed to give him something and I didn't, and I'm still supposed to give him something and I haven't. And yeah, I'm a horrible, horrible person.
So he watched, he listened to like, 10 episodes? And he does what a lot of people do, which is sometimes you get behind
right.
and you got to catch up. And so you listen to a bunch of them, and that's what happened.
Yep.
Because we say that all the time. No one's listening to the show. We know people are subscribed. And I'm doing the same thing. I have podcasts that I love that sometimes I don't listen to them every week.
Mm-hmm.
And so you gotta play catch up some point. So he did that. And there was, I don't know, he commented on like 10 shows that we did.
Something like that in the email.
Shows.
I don't remember. Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to read this and I'm going to address all of his comments. And I started reading. I was like, what is he talking about?
I don't even know.
And I realized
I don't even know.
It's been so long. I don't even know what we talked about on the show. And I remember I was like, oh yeah, I think I do remember talking about that.
But in order to actually respond, I would have to go back and listen to all of those podcasts.
Yeah, specifically, I can't even remember what he was talking about. I mean, I definitely appreciated the comments.
Absolutely.
But I was just like, I can't even remember what I said about that. So when we do a show, well, first of all, we don't plan. So when we do a show, we don't have plans, and very little plans if we have any.
If any.
And then once we do it, we forget about it. We just drop it. I mean, we talk about something and then
we put it
done.
out into the universe and we walk away.
And someone someone could start subscribing to the show today and listen to something we talked about 2 years ago.
And we'd be like,
I wouldn't know.
Was
what
I
we were
alive
talking
then?
about. Yeah.
Were we podcasting?
But he did say something that I want to address. He mentioned that sometimes we, almost every time we say we're going to do a live, and I don't know that this is true, but almost every time we say we're going to do a live thing, we don't do it. And I don't think that that's necessarily true. Often we don't, and the reason for that is because you don't want to do a live thing and no one show up. So,
well, maybe he was talking about the Facebook Live thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But if we do a Facebook Live thing and there's no one there, we're still just going to do it. It's going to be 5-10 minutes long and just post it.
Yeah, sometimes you do, but I'll give it to Zoom or something. You want people to show up. And he showed up so far in, I think, all of our Zooms,
All
right?
of our Zooms.
There's one, he was the only one that showed up.
True.
But I don't know. You just want to try to get as many people involved as possible. So we don't cancel. There's a couple times we've canceled because something has come up or we've changed our schedule or something.
Thanksgiving, we were just too fat and lazy.
Yeah, we just weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's just we feel like we're not getting the response back from people saying, oh, I'm going to be there or this will be great or whatever. So we just think maybe we should change it to some other time.
Yeah.
But I would like to do maybe next week a Zoom if we can.
Okay.
I'm not committing. I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah. So you had mentioned, I think, on the last podcast that we need to do our gift exchange.
I forgot about that.
See, here's the thing.
You're broke.
I'm broke as fuck.
But just go to the dollar store.
That's what I'm thinking about doing. And if we do go ahead and do our gift exchange on the next podcast, don't expect a lot.
Well, I never expect a lot. I mean, it's just fun. I don't even know.
As a matter of fact, a couple of gifts I've given you in our gift exchange are still on your tree. The ornaments that I buy you.
I think a couple of them are still over here on the floor, too.
Like your Disney calendar. You never used that, and that's from like 3 years ago, which is fine.
You got something on here on the floor. But anyway, yep.
What is that? No, that's just a box.
Something came in.
But
anyway,
yeah. Either way.
Okay.
Was there something else from his email that you wanted to talk about?
I don't remember. It was long. There was a lot, and I'm not discounting the email. There was so much of this.
Yeah,
no
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the email.
And actually,
Absolutely.
we'd like for everybody to write us long emails. We enjoy them.
What I wanted to comment from his email was the would you rather question that we had a couple weeks ago, where it was, would you rather shave every hair on your body or dye them all neon green? And his comment was basically, it's kind of close. You could be the Grinch, but I think you made that comment on the show.
Maybe.
I don't remember if you did or not. It was a couple weeks ago, so it was fairly close to the holidays. But yeah, just for like your holiday costume, you could dye everything on your body green and be the Grinch.
Yeah, that's creepy. I don't want to dye. I dyed my beard. Can you tell? Did you say anything about it?
I haven't said anything about it.
But did you notice?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so dark.
Well, because you always do that.
But no, I don't. I dyed it, and it didn't take at all. You could still see gray, and I thought, well, that's weird. So I changed the color. I went a little bit darker, and then I left it on a little bit longer. But what happens after a few days, it starts fading anyway. So just the first little bit, I look like the devil.
Well, when you used to do it at first, you'd leave it on
black.
It'd be black,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, whoa.
But it starts fading, so I like it. Okay, it's actually the same color as my hair.
Now it is.
But it looks different when you're used to seeing somebody with a gray beard or something. All of a sudden, they don't have it.
Right.
That looks strange. So once you kind of adapt to it, but I don't know. I just sometimes I said I was never going to do that again, and then sometimes I just look in the mirror. I'm just like, I want some color in my face.
Yeah, get rid of this gray.
So I
you
did.
don't want to
I don't
shave it
really,
off.
I don't really have to have it. It's not something I try to fool people. To think
When's
I'm
the
young,
last time you shaved everything on your face?
What does that mean? You mean like shave totally off?
Like all your mustache and beard and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I did it once. I grew my beard and mustache in probably 1989.
Yeah.
And in that time, I cut it off once.
Clean shaven once.
Yeah. And
Was I with you then?
No, I was in Chattanooga, and I did a play, and I had to cut it off. And I don't know that I would do it again.
You did it once while we were together where you took everything except the mustache.
And I also cut it really, really short.
Right.
So recently I went somewhere and the woman said, do you want your beard trimmed? And I was like, oh sure, go ahead. And she almost cut it all the way off.
Yeah.
I was
she
so
gave you
mad.
like stubble.
I never went back.
Yeah.
I was so mad at her. She gave great haircuts, but she didn't know what to do about a beard. So I'm going to sue her.
Fuck her.
I didn't say that. And I don't want to do that, basically.
Okay.
It's not really
Sorry.
something I want to do.
Okay.
There's a couple other things I want to talk about, but I'm probably talk about them next week, I guess.
All right.
Talk about them.
Let's be done.
Yeah, we'll close it down. Thanks for listening, everyone. We do appreciate you. We appreciate hearing from you. So if you ever want to drop us a line, it doesn't have to be really, really long. But
Or it can be.
You can leave your comments. Tell us what you want for Christmas, what you're getting for Christmas. Just chat with us if you want. And then maybe next year we can all come out and meet. But in the meantime, send some email to thisepicdisaster@gmail.com. Wherever you download your podcast. And by the way, if you're not subscribing, please go subscribe. Leave a little rating for us, just some stars. Tell people what you think of the podcast. And also, it always helps. And then a couple people have done this, and I really appreciate it. Just post it on your Facebook. Just say, I listen to this podcast. Yeah.
If you're not embarrassed.
Go to our page and share it out.
Yeah. Go ahead and share it.
That always helps us out. So, and, if you got any suggestions or what you'd like to hear, we just do dumb stuff.
That's what we do. That's our job.
So, and not just dumb, I mean, we want to make you happy. So if there's something you want to hear us talk about, we'll be happy to do that.
It's a new year.
Make a little suggestion.
We might have some new things coming up. We want new ideas. What do you want to hear us do? If you're into our sketch comedy, which we've done very, very little of, I'm into doing more of that. But the fact is that we have to write it, and then we have to rehearse it, and then we have to do it. So do you want to hear that or no? Because if you don't, we're not likely to do it.
A couple of things, and I'm not committing to this. I'm just kind of giving a little preview. I'm not even going to give all of the detail. This is one of those kind of like secret things. Maybe doing a new podcast next year.
Possibly.
And this is where it gets this is just a suggestion. This is just a little thing. It may not be a new podcast. That's all I'm saying.
Interesting.
That's all I'm going to say.
There is also another idea out there, which would be another podcast in our media group. Solo.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I think that's very healthy. I think we should do that.
Possibly.
Yep.
All
right, let's put a stop to this. Visit us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on, especially those two. A little bit of Twitter, and you can hear the shows on YouTube, but we would prefer you subscribe.
Please.
But enjoy your Christmas. Get out and do something, but the most thing, just have fun at home.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think of your little cocktail?
Oh, well, we're not rating it, but I'll
you
tell
don't have to give it a rating,
that
but
all of your wife's cocktails make
good, huh?
me happy. Except for there was one time and it had like too much mint in it. But this one is awesome.
I like the. I'm not a big whiskey person, but the bourbon, the whiskey that's in here. What was it? The mule?
No, it's Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace. That's good stuff.
Where do you get a mule?
Well, it's buffalo, mule. They're both
Totally different animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that whiskey.
It's
That's
good
stuff.
It is.
So I enjoy it. It's got a nice little flavor to it, and I don't know that I would say it's seasonal. It's refreshing though.
I think that's why she added the cardamom, is to make it just a little bit more seasonal. But then again, cardamom could also be considered, disinfectant.
And it tastes like pencil shavings.
No, it doesn't.
But we'll stop here, and thanks everybody. We will see you next Monday. Next Monday, and we might do a Zoom. We'll let you know.
Maybe.
Tell us your Hallmark movies, and I'll tell you mine next week.
Cool.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.